This past Sunday, I recorded an episode of Paper Mario in HD. Like I always do, I also made a short of a cutscene in the video. On said short, I got a comment saying the following. By @CardinalSir-CC5XN, cool graphics mod. By the way, what inspired you to do LPs? And it got me thinking, why did I start doing this? I mean, really, I'm just some random guy on the internet recording videos and watching as people are starting to really enjoy my presence on this shared space. So what made me do this? Well, I'll start from the beginning, I suppose. When I was about 12 or 13, I really wanted to start a YouTube channel. Like, I was really wanting to start one. I remember watching so many of these guys, like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Chuggaaconroy, and even though I wasn't supposed to because my mom didn't like how much they swore in their videos, I would watch Vanoss because I thought they were all great. I really think that was the golden age of YouTube right there. And they were just some of my favorite parts of going home. I would get my homework done as fast as I could, and I would watch their videos very almost from the point I got home to the point that I went to bed. I would listen to some audio as I went to sleep as a bit of a white noise. And at the time, I was a dumb kid. I'll admit, we all were dumb kids when we were younger. And if you try to say you weren't, don't lie. And my mom didn't want me to have one. I had asked her before I decided to do this, and she didn't want me to. And to be honest, I can understand why she didn't want to. So I still wanted one though. I still wanted to be a YouTuber, and I decided to start the channel anyway. So the very first time I recorded a video, I propped my phone up, and it was on a pillow, and it was facing towards an old HP laptop I had, and I recorded myself playing the Sans Undertale fight, and I recorded it so showing that I could no-hit it. And I did. I was really surprised I did it first try too. But that video no longer exists because my mom eventually found out that I had a YouTube channel from my friend's little brother. And I'll never forgive that little brat for it, but now here I am with an actual channel. So yeah, at the time, they were my dreams of beginning an actual YouTube channel, you know. But that was until my 11th grade year. It was a Monday, and both my parents were at work. And it was the year I decided to take off of wrestling and instead try out other things like mock trial. I wanted to get my grades good and get ready for college, and just all sorts of other things. But I was really bored that Monday. I had done everything I possibly could have for school. And I had just also reinstalled one of my favorite Pokemon fan games, Pokemon Reborn. And I was about to play it when I got the idea, what if I recorded this? I had gotten a cheap microphone that year for Christmas. It was, I think, $20 from Walmart. And genuinely, I did like that microphone, but I needed to get something a little higher quality for afterwards. And so I also thought I could get a few YouTube searches going on how to get a recording software up, but I had the same issue of, would my parents allow it? And, you know, I live in my parents' house rent free. It's their rules. I listen to what they say. It's pretty much what I do. So, my mom was at work, and so was my dad. And it's a lot easier to get a hold of my dad, because my dad is not managing a busy bar with people asking him to do stuff every 2 seconds like my mother does. And so I texted my dad, and I'm like, hey, would you mind if I started a YouTube channel? To which my dad graciously answered, and I'm simplifying it here, I don't care, you're old enough. I'm pretty sure I've told you you could before. That was enough for me. I didn't even get Mom's okay. I had sent her a text. I think she responded like after I was done recording the very first episode. So I quickly downloaded OBS and I managed to get a quick recording setup, and there. I was now the internet personality, Red the Bunny. I won't lie, Red the Bunny was just a username I came up with a very, very long time ago, and I thought it was perfect. You know, it was clean, it could be abbreviated, I could also be shortened down to Red. When I was younger, actually, my username, I've gone through like 3 usernames. My username was CoolKid5000. That was the one my dad helped me come up with, so always pay respect to Cool Kid. And then it became Red the Bunny through Steam, and then through YouTube I have finally landed on probably the full-time one that I'll use, Your Vintage Stick. But Red the Bunny was something I thought I was going to use forever, but that was until part 2 of Sonic Time Twisted, when I made the change to Your Vintage Stick. I gave the excuse, oh, there's already a channel around with the name, and at the time a little bit bigger than me. I only had like 4 or 5 subscribers. The dude had like 6 or 7. So I was like, oh no, I can't do it. Yeah, he'll catch on to me. He'll find me. But that was a lie, I'll be honest. The reason I changed the name was because a lot of the guys I knew at school made fun of the name, called me a furry, and I didn't want to be called a furry, so I opted for Your Vintage Stick. And Your Vintage Stick was always an alt account I always had. Like, I had Red the Bunny, and then off on the side, if I wanted to replay a game or do an achievement run, I would have Your Vintage Stick, which was a play on my dad's username, which was vintage_tech. And the reason I have that is because, I don't know, I thought I liked vintage, but I didn't want to be tech. I didn't want to be like Tech Junior. I didn't want to be Tech the Second. I didn't think that. So I thought of something that would be on like a controller. I was like, stick, that'll work. Joystick. That's what it's shortened for, but a lot of the time when I try and type it into the websites, they'll be like, oh, you can't do that. That's an allegory for a penis. So what I'm trying to say with here is, you know, with my whole backstory and everything, I haven't mentioned what exactly made me decide what the hell am I doing for why am I doing Let's Plays, or what really is my inspiration for this whole thing. And I'll start with why I decided to play Let's Plays. I'm just good at video games. Like, genuinely, that's it. I'm not very good at improv. Like, it may sound like I'm coming off the top of the head with this script. I'm not. I wrote this down. I wrote this down for like 3 hours today. And I'm not that great at flying off the noggin with comedy. So I can't really do skits. I can't do reactions, because I think my reactions are sometimes a little boring. But yeah, I can play video games. I'm good. I have a little bit of knowledge of some of the games I've played. Sometimes they've been blind, sometimes they haven't. It's really what you get with me. But that's mostly why I do Let's Plays, because it's easy for me, and I think the best form of content is when the person doing it is decent at what they're doing. Now, there are some games I suck at, and I'll play them, but like horror games, I suck at horror games. But yeah. Now, on to who really inspired me. I would say Chuggaaconroy and Markiplier, really. Like, it's a no doubter on who has inspired me. And it's just because of how they hold themselves. Mark always tries to put out the greatest content that he can. He tries to push out content even when he's like really busy, and I can genuinely respect that. And he's just got a great work ethic, and he wants the best content that he possibly can put out, and I think that's admirable, you know. And then Chuggaaconroy also is just insanely knowledgeable in all the Nintendo games he plays. And it's obvious that I lean a little more towards Chuggaaconroy as a bit of an inspiration. Like a couple of my comedic bits. I think I did the water wraith verbatim whenever it appeared in the Summerage Castle when I was playing Pikmin 2. And you know, I play mostly Nintendo games. There is a time where I play horror games, and that's in October. But mostly I play Nintendo games year round. So you may be asking yourself, why record this? Why tell us all of this information about why you started YouTube, what made you want to start YouTube, who your inspirations are, and all around. It's because that comment really got me thinking. And also, we made it 500 subscribers. 501. But still, that's still a big milestone for me, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I thought I would give you something to really kind of dissect my mind about. And if you ever really want to know how I record things and like what makes me kind of like how I do my footage and everything, I'll do a video of that maybe. But at the end of the day, I still appreciate each and every one of you, and I really wanted you guys to be able to kind of take this and understand what makes me want to do this for you all. So, and it's probably some of my favorite parts of the day is when I get to record and upload, and I kind of get to I guess be seen, I suppose. But I like doing this, and I can see myself doing it for a little while longer. So yeah, from the people who've been around with me from the beginning, like my mother, my dad, my buddy Matt, Jun, all of them, to all of you guys who have joined recently. I appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, it's surreal to think about 500 subscribers, but you know, here's to 500 more. Remember, everyone, keep it sticky. Good night, everyone.